could just put a bit of, hold on, I was trying to beautify myself for this video. In the meantime, smash the like button, will you? Alright, just before we begin, I just want to say a quick shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Woo! What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Nuttyfoodiefitness here. To be honest, this is a very spontaneous video. I'm filming this the day after accidentally running a marathon, and so I'm feeling just generally very kind of motivated and hyped and kind of in the mood to just spread or share a little bit of positivity and potentially help you if you're having kind of a bit of a down day maybe, or just kind of feeling a little bit flat, because I know exactly how that feels. And so I've just asked you on Instagram literally like 20 minutes ago to send in questions regarding kind of the themes of happiness, motivation, and if you're not following me on Instagram, follow me, because I like to get you guys involved in as many things as possible regarding content and questions and all that jazz. So yeah, Nuttyfoodiefitness. I just want to say I'm not like a life coach, but hopefully I can share my opinion or ways around certain things and hope it helps. I mean, this is just, I've yet to tell you guys, once you're watching this, I will have released the video, but I have not yet told you guys on Instagram that I ran a marathon yesterday. And it's so funny that the first question I've read is, what is your mindset on running / cardio? So in all honesty, I mean, this sounds ridiculous, but personally I prefer weights. Weights is what I really enjoy. So for me, I find it boring. However, as you will have seen, I ran a very long distance, and I won't lie, it wasn't the most exciting. It was definitely a lot of time just spent running, just listening to my thoughts. But with that said, after I did feel amazing for accomplishing something like that. So I would say that, like, if running isn't your thing, or if cardio isn't your thing, don't force it. There's no need to do something that you don't enjoy. There are other ways of exercising which don't involve that. However, I'm never going to be that person that says, oh, like, you know, people are very anti-cardio. Like, if you want to do it, do it. But if you don't, it's okay. Any tips for staying motivated in school? So when I was at school, I was generally very motivated to do well. You know how there's people that do, like, get their coursework done like a week in advance? I was never someone that was extra ahead prepared for things, but when there was something coming up, say for instance an exam, I would ensure that I knew everything back to front, inside out. I'd wake up and I would just revise until the moment I was going to bed, because the way I always saw things is that I just want to give my best shot to anything that I do, and so I would never want to go into an exam being underprepared. Like why? Give yourself the best possible chance of succeeding at whatever it is, you know, that you're doing. And so if you are feeling a little bit demotivated, I guess know that school is a very small part of your life, and although like at the moment maybe exams, tests, coursework might feel a bit overwhelming, know that soon that will all be a distant memory. But for now, just try and really give everything to your education, because it is very important. I know that times are changing, and now uni isn't seen as like you have to go to uni in order to succeed, but I would just say really give it your best shot. Do you ever leave a workout because you're not feeling it? Absolutely not. And my reason for this is I would never start a workout if I wasn't feeling it. So no. And my advice would be to not force yourself into working out if you don't want to work out. Because if you don't want to work out, it's not going to be any fun. And if it's not fun, I feel it defeats the point. You want to be enjoying yourself in order to be consistent. And if you're consistent, gains will come. What do you do when you have negative thoughts or bad days? So if I have a bad day, well, I wouldn't say a bad day. I'll feel kind of a bit flat for a few hours, a couple of hours, but I'll talk myself out of it rather than have it like escalate inside you. If I ever do feel a bit like I always write down my thoughts. I've got this diary and I just kind of like journal, just write down like what's on your mind, because sometimes you just need to unload it, because you don't want thoughts just kind of in your head. It does nothing. And so my advice would be to either write things down or just talk to someone about how you're feeling. They don't need to necessarily be in the same position as you or really understand it, but sometimes it's just nice to kind of get that out. Don't keep things in. This is very much related, but how do you make yourself happier on a down day? So believe it or not, yesterday, before doing that run, I was kind of in bed just a bit like, and so I had two options. I had the option to just stay in bed or go out and do a ridiculous challenge, which I did. So my advice would be to not let things linger. Try and do things that you enjoy, even if it's not the most productive thing, even if it means just making a cheese on toast, sitting on your sofa and watching a series. Do that. Because I think that sometimes people try to force themselves, you know, to just keep on going, but really sometimes you just need to like relax a little bit. Do things that make you happy. And I'm not saying spend the whole day just, I don't know, eating popcorn, but take a break, take a bit of time out for yourself. What connection do you think there is between our minds and our bodies? Honestly, I genuinely believe that our mindset is literally everything. It is literally everything. You could have everyone's backing of something, but if you don't believe in yourself that you could do a certain thing, you're never gonna do it. You could have the backing of a million people, you could have 1 million followers telling you, oh yeah, you could smash that. But if in yourself you don't feel like, yeah, you know what? I've got this, I'm sorry, but you won't have it, you won't have it. And so I think that the connection between our mind and our body is everything. I always have said that our bodies will achieve whatever it is that our mind believes it can do. And I stand by that, I fully stand by that. And I can now say, having accidentally run a marathon, it was all in my mind because I believed I could do it. Have you always had a positive body image? I have actually done a whole YouTube video based on this. I have never really felt insecure within my body. When I was younger, I have spoken about this, but when I was younger, I did feel insecure about my facial hair. And again, I'm just drawing attention to it, but you know, everyone has their thing, and that was my thing, and I just felt insecure about it. But I mean, I could remove it or I could just carry on with my life, and I've chosen to just kind of carry on with my life. Obviously, I could just pluck a bit, but I really can't be asked right now. But yes, in short, I have always had a positive body image, and I know that's not too helpful for some people, but what I really do think is that you need to learn to accept yourself. We're all different, we're all built completely different, we're all unique beings, and we need to really learn to love, you know, the bodies that we were given, but also know that our worth is not all dependent on the way that we look. Like, there are so many more things about us, our minds, our personalities, how we see things, our perspective. There's so much more than just, you know, how we look like on the outside.
Yes, I know I have an Instagram account pretty much based on my body, but at the same time,
I really always hope that people see the worth in my captions and how I view things and my mindset. How do you stay focused on your goals? I think the real thing is that you need to just have a conversation with yourself and ask yourself, do you really want that thing? Do you really want to achieve that thing? And if you're in two minds, leave it. If it's not a priority, leave it. But if you genuinely want to achieve that certain thing, then just pull your socks up, get your bum in gear and start working on achieving that goal, because no one's gonna do it for you. It's got to come from you and your purpose for wanting to achieve that. I feel like everything always stems from the why. Like, why are you doing that? Find your reasons for why you want to do that thing, or your reasons for starting. And if you come to conclude that that thing is what you really do want, then start working towards it, because there's never going to be a perfect time. There is never going to be a time where you think, okay, right now I'm going to do this. That time will never come. So make it like don't wait for tomorrow, don't wait for the next week, don't wait for a Monday. Just start. Little steps, start and smash it. What is your favorite motivational quote? It's not really a quote, but it's just something that I say to myself over and over and over again when I need that little push or I need that little encouragement. You've got this. I know it doesn't sound very motivational, but I am telling you, those 3 words, you've got this. Well, it could be 4. You got this, Steph. Those 3 or 4 words, I am telling you, have got me through so much. Honestly, they've got me through so much. And also mind over matter. I really seem to love these really short, concise things, but it's just true. Like when you see something as a huge obstacle, your mind just has to be in gear to get through it. Are there any influencers you look up to for motivation who help spread positive messages? There's a few. I mean, there is quite a few. In terms of like influencers, people I watch on YouTube, I find watching Rob Lipset, Marine, Christian Guzman. For those of you that don't know, Marine was the person that initially got me into this whole YouTube thing. I bought his first vlogging camera off him and then started this channel, and I just find it so motivating to see how, you know, they all started off vlogging in their bedrooms and now they have built so much. The amount of things that Christian Guzman has done, and he's, I don't know, is he like 26? Don't quote me on the ages, but just done so much for themselves. It's just astonishing, really. And I always feel that there's 2 types of people. There's people that will watch someone else and they'll just be envious and just be like, why did they get that? They don't deserve it. Well, there's the other type of person that will look at these people and think,
damn, they worked hard.
They got there. They're so deserving of it, and it just re-emphasizes the fact that everything we want is 100% attainable. We just have to put the hard work in, be consistent, continue to believe that you can reach those goals and you'll get there. So in summary, Christian Guzman, Rob Lipset and Marine are influencers that I looked up to for motivation. I would say Tim Ferriss and Tom Bilyeu are my favourite to listen to in terms of podcasts. They're all male. Another amazing tool I've been using is Skillshare, which obviously brings me on to the sponsor of this video. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions of people can come together to take the next step in their creative journey. They have thousands of classes, for instance, illustration, graphic design, photography, animation, music, production, film, video. I mean, I could go on. There are courses for everybody. Obviously, now is a perfect time to explore something you've potentially always wanted to do but never had the time. I mean, I'm personally always asked how it was I started YouTube, and there's even courses on how to vlog. You could be picking up your camera right now and literally starting your first ever YouTube video.
I'm going to teach you how to vlog.
I've personally been following along Greg McKeown's classes on essentialism, titled Simple Productivity, How to Accomplish More with Less. I found his classes really interesting because we're always made to believe that we should be doing
100 things at 320 miles per hour.
I've really enjoyed his perspective on learning to prioritize the things that we really want to do. For those of you that may be interested in learning a new skill or pursuing something that you are passionate about, Skillshare is offering the first 1,000 people that click the link in my description box a 2-month free trial of the premium membership. Take advantage of it, guys. What has been your greatest challenge in life and how did you overcome it? I don't know if I want to particularly talk about this. I want to keep this channel, you know, positive, and so there are things that like I've never spoken about really on here, but I don't really want to go into a lot of detail. But what I will say is that growing up, don't get me wrong, I've always had a loving, supportive family, but I will say that growing up it wasn't always like rainbows and sunshines, and there's been a lot of drama, let's just say, and there were quite I don't really know how to say it, because I don't want to be like one of those people that just kind of like swerves questions, and it's not because I want to swerve it, but it's just kind of like I've like moved on from that. But what I will say is that growing up, I didn't have a very kind of smooth childhood. There was a lot of readjusting in the family. I didn't have the perfect mum, dad, dog, brother situation. My parents split up when I was very, very young, and there's a lot. There were many years that the setup was far from perfect. There was a lot of clashing, and certain people that weren't particularly nice people, but I feel like a thicker skin was created, and as a result of going through those years, I feel like that has made me a much tougher person, she says, slightly tearing up. But I do feel that experiences are really what shape us in the end. And although it wasn't the best of times, like, I can say that as a result of going through those tougher times, it has made me in the end the person that I am, and I guess I am grateful for that, because I'm happy. I feel like I'm mentally very strong and have grown so much in confidence. I'm sorry, I completely rambled. I don't know if I made any sense there, and I wasn't trying to swerve the question, but I will just say that like the greatest challenge was kind of coming through that. And how did I overcome it? I kind of realized that I could either dwell on all those years, or I could kind of put it behind me and just kind of move on, clean slate, start again, and not let those things, not let that make me a bitter person, you know, on to bigger and better things. Do you want to have a boyfriend? I'm sure there are many that talk to you. I've never been a person that like needs a boyfriend necessarily. I feel like I am independent and I don't need one. I've never necessarily looked for a boyfriend. I mean, if a nice guy happens to come along, then fabulous. But I do think it's very important to be able to kind of be happy by yourself on your own, and then if someone comes along, they should just add. They should bring something to your life, and you shouldn't feel dependent of that person. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense? So yeah, it would be fabulous to meet an amazing guy, but I'll be honest, like, I've not had the best of luck lately. Definitely not had the best of luck. But otherwise, like, I'm good just doing me. Eating peanut butter every day, isn't that happiness enough? You're very right, my friend. I shouldn't even be doing this Q&A, like, that's all you need. If you're feeling low, guys, grab a jar of peanut butter, get a spoon, not a teaspoon. Don't worry, I won't judge you. You can have 20 spoons of peanut butter if you so wish. I'm not judging. Were you always this happy in your life? P.S. Love your videos. Thank you so much. I would say that I generally have always been a very happy kind of person. I do always try and look at the positives, you know, even when things are a little bit. With that said, as I go through life, obviously there are more and more obstacles, there's more pressure, there's work. Let's be real, like, life gets harder. But I do think that as it's gotten harder, I have worked harder on ensuring that I, you know, remain positive and always do see kind of the brighter picture. I feel like a lot is down to just kind of reflecting, to not just let life kind of pass you by, like, reflect on things that you're doing, celebrate when you succeed at something. And I'll just say, oftentimes people will kind of confuse that with maybe arrogance, cockiness, being full of yourself. But I'm telling you now, you need to be your own biggest cheerleader. First and foremost, you need to be your own biggest cheerleader. So I would say, what was the question? Oh yeah, celebrate your successes. Be proud of yourself when you have achieved something, but at the same time, like, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I think the main source of my overall positivity is that I really do just stay in my own lane. I've never been a person that compares my life to anybody else's life. You know, I've got my goals that I want to reach, and like no one's going to stop me reaching my goals. I'll never be bitter towards someone that, even if someone were to have the same goal as me and they were to reach it 20 years before me, I'm never going to be bitter and feel like,
why did they get there, or how did they...
Learn from other people. Be like,
Yo, how did you do that?
I'd say number one advice is just to do you and not compare. I mean, I feel like that's a solid piece of advice. Focus on yourself, but at the same time be happy for other people that are achieving things. Like, use that as motivation. If someone can achieve that, then you can achieve this. There's no limit to achievement. It's not like only 10 people are allowed to succeed and then the rest like
go to shit
down the swanny. There's room for all of us to grow, for all of us to succeed. Be hype for ourselves, but hype for each other. By the way, this is so sweet and I feel like I'm just gonna share it with you. So yesterday, sorry this is slightly off topic, but yesterday I called my dad after having run the marathon. Called my dad and I told him, because running has always been his thing. And so he just sent me this message saying, Steph, I feel immense pride in your achievement yesterday. I guess the years of seeing me running seems to have sown a seed. Now the fruits are there for all to see. I feel like running has made me more emotional. I even know that feeling that you're floating when running. Those days came once in a blue moon when you just don't feel any pain. You can keep running until you decide to stop. Most of your followers probably can't relate to what I'm saying. Only runners that have run more than just the lockdown can understand. You may never find 26 miles ever that easy. Many marathon runners just stop because they're not feeling it. Then only those with bottle and pride complete. This is when character is revealed. Crisis doesn't build character, it reveals it. Those are my dad's words of encouragement and I guess a bit of positivity that I wanted to add into this video. I just feel still kind of overwhelmed by yesterday. I don't know. Sorry, back to the Q&A. My camera is about to die. Okay, yeah, my camera died. I'm back. Who keeps you on track? I keep myself in check. I'm very kind to myself. I'm not hard on myself if I don't fancy doing something, but yet if I say I'm gonna do something, then I don't need someone else to be like,
you said you were gonna do this challenge, like,
hello. I will just do it, because when I say I'm gonna do something, then I'm very kind of stubborn like that. If I set myself a goal, I'm doing it. What made you not give a what people think? For instance, talking in public, people staring at you, etc. I just think, like, what difference does it make if someone is staring at me, or if someone has something negative to say about me? I just feel like I'm kind of stronger than that, and I'm not gonna let petty comments or remarks get me down. I know my worth, I know what I stand for, I know who I am, and I don't really need to kind of prove myself to anyone. And so I just feel like it's a waste of time. Like, I would rather invest energy on good things, progressing with myself, rather than giving energy to negativity. There's no need for that. It's just draining, and then at the end of the day you'll have less energy to work on yourself. And I'm all about growth, and I'm all about reaching my potential. How do you deal with people who feel threatened by your go-get-it attitude? I guess that kind of comes into the last question. I do sometimes feel that if you're too positive, too confident, people will take that negatively and they'll try and knock you down because they're not at that level. And I mean, that's down to them. I feel like that's something they need to deal with, and it's not something that I need to deal with. So you need to realize that you can let things get to you, or you can just move on, continue doing you, and they can either continue feeling sorry for themselves or try to make me get on their level of low. Here's an example of how you can deal with hate. So for instance, if someone says, "You don't work though," you just say, "Yeah, I do. I'm a YouTuber. It's a job to entertain the nation and brighten up all the peeps." Then for instance, if someone says, "Oh, you're so obsessed with yourself, oh my god," well then you just say, well, it's better than to be obsessed with watching me and spreading hate. Do you know what I mean? You know, whatever you do, there's always going to be people that like just try to put you down, and you have to just rise above it, know that you are the shit and they are shit. How important is self-esteem for you? I think it's very important, because in life, obviously, there's always going to be people that don't want you to succeed. And so you need to know your worth and not base it on other people's opinions of you. Like, yes, I am motivated by trying to make you guys proud, make my parents proud, make my brother proud, but fundamentally my drive comes from within. So yeah, external factors do play a part, but I do think that you've got to first know your worth. What makes you happy? What makes me happy is, I guess, just being able to live life the way in which I want to live it. Not have to follow the crowd or do certain things to fit in a box. Like, I'm happy as I am with who I am, and if I can inspire others to be happy within themselves, then that will just make me happier. How can I overcome exam stress? I would just say to focus on things in small parts. Break things up, set little goals, and focus on things one step at a time. Think about that one exam or that one piece of coursework, then think about what are the key points that you need to know for that particular exam. Work through that, then go into more detail. You just got to break things up a little bit into chunks rather than think of the bigger picture, because then you will become like overwhelmed by it. Do your parents play a role in your positive mindset? I would say, in terms of like family members, I'd say that my brother has always been more that role model. Because yeah, I've said it before, he's always been the person I look up to. He's my little G, even though he's my older brother. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it here because I feel like I've been talking for a hot minute. So I just want to say thank you so much for your questions. I hope that this somewhat has helped. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me ramble. As I said, I am no life coach. I've no idea if my answers or anything made any sense, but if anything, this has just brought a smile to your face, and I just want to send lots of love and just spread a bit of positivity. And I just want you to know that if you're having a bit of a down day or feeling a little bit stressed, just take things one step at a time. Breathe in, breathe out, eat some peanut butter, and just know that sometimes you might be having a bit of a bad day, but know that like there are so many things in life to be happy about, to appreciate, to be grateful for, and sometimes you just need to sit down and just kind of talk to yourself a little bit and realize that there is so much good and potential and happiness out there. I could go on. I'm gonna stop here. Thanks for watching, and stay nutty, my friends.
Obviously, I continue to talk for another 3 hours.
I'm gonna do an open Q&A about like life and ramble. Maybe ask some questions in the comments, and I might just answer those in another video. Thanks a lot for watching. Should I put a top on? Oh, can't be arsed. I'm in my room, okay? Just let me be. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm course in illustration or graphic. Oh.